Wellbeing and Counseling service. Here are parts we will talk about in this presentation. Now move to the current situation of the Facebook page of Wellbeing Counseling service. There are many outstanding points which are beautiful design, useful contents, and frequently updating. However, there are also some limitations, which are lack of good posts, do not have separated topics, and the content of the bookmarking part is out of date. Next, come to the target publics. The first target publics are RMIT current students and alumni who age from 18 to 25 years old. They are living in Ho Chi Minh City, have the excited in outdoor activities, taking care to their appearance, beauty, and health. They have interested in joining events and having the desire to balance their life. This is the result of the survey which we have done in order to find out the key insight of the target public. Through this pie chart, we find out that most of the primary target public don't want to contact to the service because they don't believe the service could help them and afraid to share the problem to others. On the other hand, when mentioned about normal concerns or daily issues such as stress, sickness, they are really willing to share it to the others. However, which the problems relate to their private, they are not willing to share. After that, they misunderstand about the service functions. They believe the service take responsible for serious issues which they are not willing to share, but about the small daily issues such as stress or cool, which they're willing to share, but the service will still not matter for the service. Next is the second target public. They are RMIT staff living in Ho Chi Minh City. They are hardworking, really need to balance their life, and have the interest in recover new experience. And the result of the survey we have done among this target public have us to find out that most of them want to solve the difficulties by themselves. That's why when come to the secondary key insight, we find out that the secondary target public knows that they are having difficulties during their careers and their daily life, and they have the belief that they need to solve it by themselves. That's the big reason for why they don't need any help from the well-being and counseling service.
Campaign for raising brand awareness. We will aim that 70% of our target public will are aware of the service, and 30% of the target public will want to try the service, and finally 10% of the target public will come to the service if they have any difficulties. To engage brand engagement, we want to get at least 100 likes on Facebook page after the campaigns and get around 300 shares and comments engaged in the activities after the campaigns. Moreover, we also want to reach 500 views and likes for each series after 2 months of the campaigns. And finally, we want to reach approximately 700 people take part in the Wellbeing Day. For the big concept, based on the key insight that have been indicated above, we come to the big concept that how is your inner self. With this big concept, we want our target public to reflect their current physical as well as psychological situations. Will they are okay? Why they're not okay? And if they are okay, can they share some tips from their experience to others? So to indicate this big concept into our three to reach our two target topics, we then come to the sub concept. For the first target topic sub concept is the compassion. I have a concern with this concept, we want our target public to recognize that well-being and counseling service is not only care for the big problems related to physical or mental health. Where the service also care for the small concerns that they have in daily life, such as headache or broke up with boyfriends, issues about issue about boyfriend and girlfriends are having a bad mood, so they could come to the well-being and counseling service if they have those concerns and want to share. For the second sub-concept, is the second sub-concept is the self-reflection. This sub-concept is aimed for our RMT staff. For this sub-concept, we want the RMT staff to recognize that well-being and counseling service could become their mirrors to reflect themselves as well as their concerns, and the service also play a role of tactics to support them on the way figure out their concerns or their problems or even their happy story. Now to apply I will come to the key message which will have to approach the big concept. For the first this is our primary key message. Throughout these primary key messages, we want the target public to understand that not only serious problems they can share to well-being and counseling service. The service also stand by their side and support them even with a small or simple concerns. And this is our secondary key message. With the key message, we want our mighty staff to know that well-being and counseling service could become the mirror to support them and reflect their problem, their concern, or even interesting experience that they want to share. Well-being and counseling service will be there and listen to them anytime.
To the key visual and the tactics of the campaign. Based on the main key visuals that the Wellbeing and Counseling Center give us is a tree and the roots, we are coming up with the ideas of emotional tree. We call it the emotional trees because it will represent students and staff, daily issues, emotionals, and feelings. With this key visual, we want to attract people to the emotional trees. Throughout there, we want them to recognize about their feelings, about their emotionals, about daily issues in life, in works, and at school. Next, tactics. For the poster that we will hang around the campus, we will create emotional trees on the poster. At the top of the trees, we will put on lots of emoji face, which is emotional face, with angry face, happy face, boring face, enjoy face, or lots and lots of faces on the tree, on the top of the trees. These are the face who represents the students and staff daily emotional, daily feelings. And when people see this poster, they will recognize their inner self, as we have mentioned at our big concept, and they also attract to this tree at the poster. And it is also a way for people to know about the Wellbeing and Counseling Center and also the Wellbeing Day. Secondly, we will bring up a booth at the campus. The booth will be a real tree, and it is a way for students to confess their current situations. We will put the stickers and the face around the booth, around the real trees, and where people passing by, they can pick up the emotional face, they can pick up the stickers and put it on the trees to show their feelings of the day. These activities will be done before the event, and at the day of the events, we will collect all the results and we will see what are the most feelings of the student and staff at IMIT. And again, it also a way to get informed people about the Wellbeing Day. And online, we will creating the series on YouTube channel. We also share it on the Facebook fan page as well. The first series, we will coming up with the ideas. I have a concerns. It will be for students to confess about themselves, to confess about their concerns and issues. In this series, we will still bring up the key visual is a tree, but the tree here will represent the contents or a sentence inside the trees about the daily issues of students and staffs. It's maybe I have a bad mood, or I'm sick, or I'm weak this week. And the backgrounds will be the weathers, which fits with the contents inside the trees. For example, when the trees represent the contents of I am happy today, and the backgrounds will be the good weathers, and when the content inside is I'm very bad or I feel down today, the backgrounds will be in stormy or rainy weather. This series will last from 20 to 30 seconds, and we want to use this series as a way for students to confess with themselves. The second series, we are coming up with the concept of cause and consequence, side effect of small concerns. As my partner have mentioned before, small issues is not small unless you can solve it. In this series, we will create a trees, and inside a trees is stories. Uh, First, from the very small issue is that when you feel sad or you feeling stressed, if you cannot give it away, later on you will become depressed, and then you cannot perform good at works or at schools. It will bring up bad results, and in the end, even you will may face the very dangerous consequence, such as you fail the course or you lose your jobs. This series will awake people about small issues and to inform them about the bad consequences that they may face if they cannot solve their issues.
So even though there are other social media channels out there, we would like to focus on mainly on Facebook in order to build a bigger and stronger audience before thinking of having an Instagram account or Twitter account for Wellbeing Counselor, for Wellbeing Center. For for the next 2 months, we would like to apply Facebook ads, which we will have the budget for that our client has given us. And we will target only minority students and staff, and we would like to narrow the demographic of target publics to only living in Ho Chi Minh City who are from the age of 18 to 30. For the next 4 weeks, we would like to post separate topics and angles that we will showcase during our event, which um, include physical health, mental health, giving back, and eating well. We would like to also update the pin post to make it more current so that our audience will be mistaken that we haven't post our updates for a while. And we would like to also use all of the visuals for Wellbeing Day to be published on Facebook, such as cover photo, slogan, posters, and event tab on Facebook. Next, on Facebook, we would like to create a confession form, which any which everybody can anonymously share their stories or any concern that they have. Because our main goal on Facebook is to have it as an open conversations where people can talk freely about the small problems in life, the small issues they have to face with, and how each of them overcome it. With their permission, we would like to share those stories publicly on Facebook, or email them for those who we feel like who need an appointment to go to the counseling center. We would like, since our client want us to promote EDRC functionality, we would share the content between EDRC Facebook page and Wellbeing Center Facebook page, so that more people are aware of the online presence that EDRC has. Therefore, create more interaction on there. We will also have a clear schedule for the content in the next 2 months, where we would monitor accordingly, so that our content is up to date and engaging. Before the event and after event, we will also have stream live Q&A with our guest speakers via streaming app, so that our guest speakers can answer more questions about well-being concern. Our strategy to increase followers will include having sponsored posts from our influencers who we are working with during the Wellbeing Day event. We have Ms. Tin Nguyen from BCVN, Dr. Paul from the Chiropractic Maple Healthcare Center, Ms. Phoenix Ho, who is a very influential career counselor at RMIT, RMIT Career Center, who currently has 8,000 likes right now, and RMIT Sport Clubs, who will post posts to encourage their members to join the Wellbeing Day event, and also like our page on Facebook. We would like to also have a dedicated post on RMIT Internet, where we introduce RMIT Wellbeing Center Facebook page as a place for open conversation. Who the students will have access to talk about their concerns in order to increase interaction. So what we find is that even though right now the page has very useful content, there is a very low engagement rate. Therefore, we would like to have open conversations about to show the importance of getting help and some self-care routines from our influencers. We would like to also post updates about our influencers during the Wellbeing Day event, because on the Wellbeing Day event tab, that's how our customers get the notification. And we would like to also do a giveaway to encourage people to share stories, and also a giveaway whenever people check in with the hashtag RMIT Wellbeing Day 2016 on Facebook, and they will get a small prize. With that, we will be able to get to attract a lot of attention from online and offline. Next, you can see is our suggesting schedule post. On Monday, we will post something fun to encourage Happy Monday. And from Tuesday to Thursday is where we put information, visuals, and videos about our topic of the week. And on Friday would be some healthy cooking meal that relating to eating well. On Saturday would be something about interesting books, movies for the weekend, and tips for calm mind and yoga on Sunday. Next, you can see is our timeline. So our timeline, we divided into 3 periods. The first is the pre-event, before 3 weeks before week 8. During event, which is week 8, and post-event, where our task is to follow up with all the visitors from who visited Wellbeing Day and post useful content such as stress management on the pressure period, which is end of the semester where exams will occur. Metrics on how we can measure our success on social media. Since the only social media channel that we have is Facebook, we will use Facebook Insights in order to see what kind of to see the compare rates between organic and page reach. Therefore, we will be able to analyze the quality of the post. If it's good, then we continue with that type of post. If not, then we will change it accordingly. And we will also go through the engagement rates in terms of likes, comments, and shares to find out which content attracts more attention and which are not. For people engagement, we would like to look at the insight to see whether we have reached the right target public. If not, then we will continue to work with a client in order to find the best way to reach our target public. And we also monitor negative feedback in order to have a prompt crisis management. That is the end of our audit plan. Thank you for listening.